Hey guys, it's Jordan here from SwitchWatch. Happy New Year 2019, and we're going to kick it off with a review of Don't Sink. Don't Sink is a simple piratey adventure game with the classic indie pixel look. Mixing RPG elements with systems found in often far more advanced simulation games, we're going to see if this is a successful simplification or not. Before we get into it, if you're new here, consider subscribing to our channel. We're focused entirely on Nintendo Switch goodness with reviews, gameplays, and the odd features that will be well worth it for any Nintendo Switch owner. There's not much in the way of a narrative for Don't Sink. At the beginning of the game, you are invited to create and customize your own character, a new captain of the seas in the Caribbean-style archipelago of islands. With a dinky little ship and a little bit of dosh in your pocket, you set out to conquer this swashbuckling universe. While you are tasked with being piratey, you will also take part in trade and, more ambitiously, own, govern, and ameliorate the towns that populate the island group. What I admire the most about Don't Sink is that it tries to be everything at once, yet does so in the most palatable way in its short runtime. It has action, adventure, management, survival, all bundled into one 2-hour game. I'm sure that's surprising for most of you, and you'll no doubt question what kind of depth that it has, and although it's impressive they crammed this together, you'd have a right to be. It's a simplistic game, but with a fair amount of heart. The main task is to build up your funds and constantly increase your standing in the pirating world. In your standard boat, you must travel from island to island and earn money through various methods, whether it be helping out some islanders with their woes or needs, or even taking part in trading jobs posted at the local store. You'll find yourself earning decent cash pretty early on. It's not all plain sailing though. While traversing the big blue wet thing, you'll have a few hurdles coming your way. The dastardly pirates that roam around will attack you constantly, usually once per trip between islands, and you'll either have to defend yourself or run away. As long as you've stocked up on crew members and cannonballs, you should be okay though. You may need to repair mid-battle, and you can do so as long as you have enough planks of wood on you. There is little in the way of strategy unfortunately. It's basically pressing the fire button and hoping you outlast your attacker. If you don't fancy a cannon battle, you can board the enemy ship and engage in a sword duel. I'll be honest, this system kind of confused me, and so after the first attempt doing this, I went back to the cannon battle since I was doing so well with them and I saw no reason to try this one again. If you're not fighting on the seas, you should be looking to make sure your crew are in tip-top condition when it comes to their hunger, thirst and morale. These can be boosted should they begin to run low, but once again, it's the basic of basic when it comes to management. You just press a button to make everything okay again, as long as you have stocked up on enough food items, which isn't really an issue. You won't be hard done for cash at any point. You'll almost always have enough to get by, feed your crew and repair your ship. The more you play, the easier it is to accumulate even more cash. You can buy even bigger ships and completely dominate your adversaries, and once I got to this point, aside from finding those short little cutscenes that I'd missed, the game became pretty moot. I'd gone from having the starter ship, completing one very rewarding but easy task, and then buying the second biggest ship on the market. The game then became cursory. It was fun and I was still enjoying what it was offering, but its meaning was waning. The end game is where you'll start to invade all of the other islands by force and calling them your own. This sounds fun, but in practice, it's the most basic aspect of the game, which is saying something considering how simple everything else is in the game. All you need is enough crew, which the game tells you how many you need, and then press OK. The island will be yours with a few casualties on your side. You can upgrade each town to have a few different buildings and increase the economy, but this is a very weak aspect and barely worth paying too much attention to. This particularly feels like a remnant of the developer's initial ambition of creating something a bit more deep, but then later abandoned. Don't Sink makes no bones about what it has to offer. It doesn't pretend to be anything that it isn't. It has very simple mechanics and it knows it. It's fun for a while, and triggering the different cutscenes and situations gives nice little surprises, but after playing a couple of hours, you do feel like the game has run its course, or perhaps I should say ran aground. It's a little adventure that will keep you occupied for a little amount of time as you conquer the pirate world. Visually, the developers have gone for the classic retro look to the extreme in some cases. While the environments are fairly well detailed, the characters are pretty much Atari 2600 sprites. Probably a bit too extreme for me, as it does kind of devalue the game if I'm being shallow. I enjoyed the visuals of the different islands, whether it be the snowy islands in the northeast or your standard tropical desert island. I think they look good. The problem is that despite a few weather palette swaps, they're basically the same. They all share the same buildings and none of them are unique to each other. By the end of the game, when you've conquered everywhere and built everything, every island is just a copy of the others, which is a shame. For the audio, we have a nice, if limited soundtrack. The traversal music conveys an epic journey, like it should do, in a similar style to the sailing music in Zelda The Wind Waker, but obviously in a more retro way. The island music is a little bit on the leisurely side. I didn't really get much piratey feeling from it that I would expect, especially after experiencing the practically perfect Secret of Monkey Island soundtrack. Speaking of which, where are those remasters on Switch? In terms of value, Don't Sink is priced at $9.99 in the US, £7.99 in the UK, and if I'm being honest, it's a tiny bit on the expensive side, not by much, maybe $1 or £1 cheaper would have been nice. It's a pleasant enough experience, but one that you'll only play for 2 or 3 hours at a push, and then never go back. It's a simple one and done playthrough, which does affect the value for me. I know shorter games have asked for more, but as cute as Don't Sink is, it's hardly providing that special experience that other games do. Overall, Don't Sink is a small, pleasant little game that tries to do many things at once but lacks the depth to pull you in for the long haul. After a couple of hours, you'll pretty much be done with it, even if you've not 100%ed it. I enjoyed it, but I felt I didn't need any more than what I'd got. It's alright in its simplicity, but in no way is it going to blow your socks off or anything. For me, it's a 6.5 out of 10. It's decent, but difficult to fully recommend. If you're looking for a game with a bit more meat on it, then don't forget about Onimusha, which is releasing this month in the West. Head over to watch my review of that because I'd love for more people to be aware of it. I'll see you guys over there. Take care.